Hello everybody, I hope all of you are having a great day so far. Now some of you folks may be eligible to receive a stimulus check. Now if you want to find out if you're eligible for a fourth stimulus payment, then folks, be sure to stay until the end of this video. I want to see every member of my community receive a fourth stimulus check and get the help that they so desperately need. And if you guys agree with me, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes.
We're going to make it clear that anyone collecting unemployment who is offered a suitable job must take the job or lose their unemployment benefits.
And we weren't talking about cutting them either then. That was trying to figure out how we got through a debacle where the whole government didn't shut down. And so look,
Now there is a chance that you might still be getting a stimulus check, folks, especially if you recently filed your taxes. CNBC reports that the US government is still sending out stimulus checks related to the American Rescue Plan Act, which was approved in Congress back in March 2021. Specifically, these people receiving plus-up payments, which are going to taxpayers who earned less money in 2020 than 2019. So in actuality, they are owed more money. According to CNBC, in addition to new checks being sent out, Americans who typically do not file taxes, but recently did so in order to claim the stimulus check money, will be getting new checks. Now many of you guys have been asking, what are the plus-up payments? A plus-up payment is simple. Let's say you got your stimulus check based on your 2019 tax returns, but then you filed your 2020 tax return after you got your check. Based on your earnings, you could get more money because your income dropped. For example, people are eligible for plus-up payments if they made less money in 2020 than 2019. Fast Company reports that the IRS will send you an extra payment once it knows about your income changes. The Washington Post also reports that Congress added the plus-up payment to make sure that the IRS could deal with backlog of tax returns amid the crisis. According to the Washington Post, aware of the backlog at the IRS, Congress gave the agency the ability during the stimulus relief round to circle back and essentially top off people who were shortchanged because the tax situation changed in 2020. And members of a powerful congressional committee are calling for additional rounds of economic relief from the federal government for families still struggling during the crisis. The third round of stimulus relief squeaked through Congress thanks to a budget loophole when it failed to find bipartisan support. Since that time, numerous Republican governors have refused federal unemployment insurance benefits, arguing they encourage people to stay at home and collect money instead of getting back to work. Fortunately, lawmakers can use the budget reconciliation process again to pass more relief payments. And when asked about stimulus checks earlier this month, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said, "We will see what members of Congress propose." Now, the government has already issued 3 direct payments since the beginning of the crisis. In the latest round of stimulus checks, the US government said it sent roughly 159 million direct payments to households, with a total value of $376 billion. Now folks, that is all the news in this video. If you guys found this video useful and helpful, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thanks for watching, folks. Until next time, have a great day and stay safe.
I'm high, and as expected, our colleagues just reported this bill out unanimously, 20-0. That is legislating done right. Our colleagues are modeling the approach that would let Congress build a successful big-picture infrastructure bill later this year. Meanwhile, in the Hart Building, the Finance Committee will spend its afternoon marking up a left-wing partisan bill written fully within the spirit of the Green New Deal. Maximum pain for working American families in exchange for minimal environmental gain. Under the guise of Clean Energy for America, Chairman Wyden is leading the charge against the most reliable and affordable ways to power our country. The legislation he's drafted is full of the sort of policies that would increase the price of gas at the pump, hike the tax burden on independent American producers, of course, killing jobs, discourage the industry-led innovations that have already been reducing emissions without hurting workers, and drag the United States away from energy independence back toward reliance on imports from places like Russia, Venezuela, and the Middle East. In exchange, the bill would have ordinary Americans subsidize the lifestyle preferences of wealthy people in places like New York and San Francisco. So, one committee unanimously approved a smart, targeted, bipartisan approach to key infrastructure projects that America needs, and another will consider a partisan descendant of the Green New Deal that would raise taxes, probably raise gas prices, and leave us with less a less reliable electricity grid. Really, this contrast.
Madam President, I rise today kind of expressing frustration of many of my constituents. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have had federal agencies and employees not working at all. Not from home, not in the office, period. Have not had a lick of work for over 14 months. In April, the Senate Finance Committee had a hearing entitled "The Social Security Administration During COVID, How the Pandemic Hampered Access to Benefits and Strategy for Improving Service Delivery." Now, following the hearing, in response to my concerns that seniors in my state with issues getting their Social Security benefits were not being sufficiently served due to field and local offices being closed, my office got a letter from Commissioner Andrew Saul. The letter states, "I urge you to encourage the unions to continue engaging in meaningful dialogue with management that includes a focus on the very best service to the public." That is a nice way of saying we need the union's help to get the people, we need help getting the unions to the table so we can get federal employees back to work. Now, we're talking about mandatory services, reopening Social Security offices for in-person visits in a post-vaccine world, to assist elderly Americans, my grandparents, your grandparents, having issues with their benefits. This isn't happening because government employees are not showing up. It brings to mind an old quote from an old governor in Louisiana, Earl Long. And they asked Governor Long, "How many people do you have working at the Capitol?" And he looks off into space, he goes, "Working? About 2. Now, in this case, that's the way it's going with this. The situation at the Department of Veterans Affairs in connection with the National Archives, and specifically the National Personnel Records Center, is even worse. According to the National Archives, the backlog of veterans' records grew to more than 499,000 requests in April of 2021. They estimate it will take 18 to 24 months to clear once the National Personnel Records Center.
Pensions are disappearing, and that means more reliance than ever on Social Security. For almost 2/3 of seniors, Social Security makes up the majority of their income in retirement. And for 22 million Americans, Social Security is literally the only thing standing between them and poverty.